All right, everybody. So today we are taking care of something that I've been putting off for a long time. Now that I have a free weekend, we're going to be working on my trees. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I do a lot of gardening. But before I ever started gardening, the first thing that I tried my hand at was citrus trees. So I went around and got cuttings from some of our relatives. And as you can see behind me, we have some good return on investment. So these right here are lemon trees from the house that I grew up in. And we have about, I think, 12 other trees that are in smaller pots. They're not going to go in the ground at least for the next couple years because we're still trying to decide where we want them. And then also I was thinking we could potentially have them set up for our wedding that we're going to do here at our house. I think it'd be awesome to have all of the trees in their pots lined up here along the dance floor and stuff like that. So let's go to Lowe's. So I came here a couple weeks ago to buy pots, and then they didn't have the ones that I wanted, so I ordered them online. They got there yesterday, but today I'm here to get soil and an irrigation system because I want them to auto water because I work all day. I like getting the raised bed soil because it has a lot of organic matter that breaks down over time, and I feel like that's really good for a lot of the trees that I have and a lot of the plants. I use this for my raised beds, but also for my big pots. For my little pots, I'll use an actual potting soil, but this is the one that I use. But we're gonna get 10 bags of these today. I have some at the house already, but we need more. So.
Okay, all done?
Yeah, so now that we have the soil and we have the pots, we're gonna go get an irrigation system. The one that I have right now is a drip system, and it works because the pots are like 5-gallon pots, but we're putting these in 20-gallon pots now. The idea is that we can give them to our friends and family for big special events, and they already are in a pretty pot. So if they don't have somewhere to plant it, they can keep it in that pot. So let's go. If you have seen some of our gardening content before, you know that I like the rain drip system. So I'm gonna go with them again for the trees here. It has the timer, the hose, and 10 connections. I'm gonna buy 2 more because we have 12 trees total that we're working with right now. I like to also get this Kellogg's organic citrus food and plant food. I'm exhausted, but we have everything. So after we run errands, we can finally start putting the trees together. All right, so we're back at the house. I have the first round of trees that we're going to be repotting right now. These are the pots that I got. They're 20-gallon pots. I already have 2 of our lemon trees in them, and they've done a pretty good job. And I like the size and the design and everything, and I kind of wanted it to all be consistent. So I went and I bought the same ones again. It took a couple weeks for them to come in, but then we're good to go. And so now we're going to start transplanting. I'm not going to lie, this probably needed to be done quite a while ago. You'll see why once I show you some of the trees. They are overgrown. I will be doing some pruning so that they can kind of reshape a little bit inside these new pots. So let's get started. First things first is there's punch holes on the pots. Holes are prepped. Let's get the first tree. Okay, so this one is actually a decent example of what these trees should be looking like. It is sturdy enough. It has a good base and everything. It's not too big, but it has definitely outgrown this pot. And so we're going to be moving this over into this big one. So let's see if we can't get this guy out of here. Woo! I'm going to use this rake to pull out some of this hard dirt along the bottom. And I don't know if it was apparent, but in this pot, it was leaning to the right a little bit. So now we have a chance to readjust it a little more straight and kind of let the weight of the tree itself kind of pull it in all directions so that it sits center. And that's it. So if that last one was easy, this one is probably more on the difficult side. As you guys can see, there is a lot of kind of crossing branches. This one also has thorns, so it does hurt when you touch it. And so you kind of have to be careful where you're grabbing it. What I think we're going to have to end up doing is snipping some of these lower branches here so that we have a more open feel to it. And then I'm probably going to have to cut some of these branches that are crossing so that it allows for growth outwards and upwards. All right, so if you've noticed, we trimmed down quite a lot of these really tall branches that are kind of overhanging because they add weight in weird ways that we don't want to affect the tree for later growth. But now let's get some soil in here so we can move it over. Okay. The nice thing about cutting away these low branches as well is that you're not gonna, cut yourself when you're spreading the soil around and evening it out. Okay, so if that first tree was the perfect size to transplant and that second tree was a little more complicated because it was slightly overgrown, this third one is what happens when you just kind of ignore something that you should be doing. So this is my lemon tree. We're going to see how we handle this. I might have to cut a lot off of the bottom of this tree. And there we go. We have a lemon tree. All right, so it's a new day. It's actually a very gloomy day. This is a mess. It kind of has the opposite problem that we had yesterday with the lemon tree that was like too tall. This one is too wide. Look at this guy right here. He's just like from all over there. He's just chilling right here. All right, so they're not washed, but look at that. These are little key limes. They look like that because they're dusty, but they're full of juice. As you can tell, the tree is much smaller. I left these branches that are going to promote growth upwards. And then this one right here that's kind of leaning, I'm going to put a stake down the middle and pull it back up straight. And that should be the main stem that balloons out. So the last thing I'm going to show you guys tonight is this. 2 lemons from one of the lemon trees that I'm transplanting right now. All right, everybody, it's another day. It's been probably about a week since I finished repotting all of the trees, but I finally have time to set up the drip system that's going to water all of these trees every day so that I don't have to spend like 15 minutes every morning watering them. So let me show you the trees. So in total, there is 12 trees. As you can see, quite a few of them I had to put some stakes, like this guy right here. I had to put 3 and tie different branches to it because not all of them are standing up. A lot of the branches, like this one, were falling down. And so this should promote upward growth, which if you see this branch right here, look at that. It's already doing its job. We will be setting up the drip system, which we're going to be using the Rain Drip automatic watering kit. I really like this company. I've been using them for pretty much all of my other plants in my garden. Let's go set these up on the side of the house. I'm going to do a couple of these and then show you guys how I set up the drip system. Since I have 3 other units here at the house, I'm just going to repurpose this timer right here and save the other one in case one of these ends up breaking. So this guy already has batteries. I can set them on a schedule here. There's manual along the top if you want to do some extra watering, and then the bottom part, you can set it up with the schedule of how frequent you want to water and how long you want to water. So put this aside for now. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is a little bit of a snake pattern. The hose is going to go around the back side of that, and then it'll come back up in the front side. And that's how I'll get the access points for each one of these little attachments that plug directly into the hose. There's no tools necessary. These auto poke a hole into this tubing and then they secure on, and that's what's gonna give the water access to all of these trees. So let me get the adapter on and we'll start routing the hose. You have a little spike here in the middle that pokes onto the hose. And then here you have all the droplets. The green ones mean that it's, I believe, 2 gallons per hour. You can see I have red ones that are half a gallon as well in my other garden. And then you have these little stakes that are gonna hold it in place in case they move around too much. So let's get these poked in. All right, so this is what the fertilizer looks like on the inside. It has a very strong smell. It smells like nitrogen. So like I said, just a good handful like that. And then around the outside, I'm actually gonna do two handfuls. And then as it rains and as we water, it'll seep into the bottom of the containers here and we'll be good to go. I'm gonna do the last 4 pots right now off screen and then they'll all be ready to go. I'll show you guys a video of that in a bit. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and checking out these trees that I've been working on for a few years now. See you guys in the next video.